Thinking of applying to dental school, but you're more comfortable in French? Don't you worry, I'll look it up for you. Hey everyone, my name is Yu. You can call me Zachary. I'm a second year dental student at McGill University. It's that time of the year. It's almost time for you to start applying to dental schools. I figured that since I've already made a video for McGill, I should probably do a video for the other two dental schools in Quebec. As you just saw from the intro, we have UdeM and ULaval. So I'm going to be talking about both schools side to side. So let's get started. First of all, UdeM is the other dental school in Montreal. The length of the program is 5 years and the architecture of their building is pretty amazing. You have ULaval, the dental school in the heart of Quebec City. The program is 4 years over there and their building is pretty neat, pretty good, pretty nice. Let's start with the academic requirements. So for both schools, there are many options. Since we're in Quebec, the main option is for you to go through Cégep to get a deck while also completing the different science requirements that they ask for. I'm going to list the requirements over here. So it's basically the same ones for both UdeM and ULaval. So the other option is for you to have done an undergrad that is recognized by UdeM and you have completed the courses that are equivalent to the ones that I have mentioned above. And for ULaval, the other option is for you to have a diploma that is equivalent to 13 years of Quebec's education system. Now comes the non-academic requirement. So now comes the DAT. Both schools look at two components, the MDT and the PAT. So for both schools, they require 5 on 30 for the MDT. For UdeM, they require a score of 10 and ULaval a score of 15 out of 30 for the PAT. Once again, just to be clear, Quebec dental schools do not look at the science components nor the reading comprehension components. They're just looking for you to have a minimum score. So now we're going to talk about CASPer. It counts for so much for the selection criteria for both schools. For UdeM, it counts for 40%. For ULaval, it counts for 20% of the whole selection process. So it's so important for you to practice hard, to work hard on it. Now comes the French proficiency level. For anyone who has done their high school in English, they have to show that they have proficient level in French simply because both programs are given in French. For UdeM, there are different options. They like to give us so many options. The first option is to do the TFI, the Test de Francais International, and you need a score of 850 or more on 990. Note that starting the winter semester of 2023, they will not accept the TFI anymore. So what else can you do is you can do the TEF, the TCF, DELF, the DALF. Oh my god, this is like such a tongue twister for me. And for all of these, you need to be placed in the C2 category, which is 600 to 699. And this is for both the oral and written comprehension. And for ULaval, they look at the TCF. They require 400 out of 699 for the 3 compulsory components: oral comprehension, written comprehension, and last one, I don't really know how to translate this. It's maîtrise des structures de la langue. So I guess the mastery of the structures in the French language. On top of the 3 compulsory components, you need to do the expression écrite, which is basically the written portion, and you need a score of 14 out of 20. For people who have done their cégep in French, l'épreuve uniforme de français is sufficient enough, so you don't need to do additional tests for that. Now, who can apply to these schools? So for UdeM, they require their applicants to be a Canadian citizen or a Canadian permanent resident. So for ULaval, it's a bit more different. They have a priority system, so the order is as follows. If you are a Quebec resident or if you're francophone from Ontario or New Brunswick. Second is the other out-of-province applicants. And finally, we have the non-Canadian applicants, which are the international applicants. How many seats does each school offer? For UdeM, they offer 44 seats for Cégep and 45 seats for university. That's based on last year's statistic. For ULaval, they offer 48 spots for both Cégep and university applicants combined. Now we're going to talk about the selection criteria. So for UdeM, it's 60% academic profile and 40% CASPer. So that means they do not conduct any interviews. And for ULaval, it is 60% academic profile, 20% CASPer, and 20% interview. I'm assuming that in order for you to get an interview at ULaval, you need a strong academic profile and also a good score on your CASPer test. Now we're going to talk about the different specialties that each schools offer. So you must be wondering, why am I talking about specialties even before you getting into dental school? It is always good to think ahead because let's say down the line you want to specialize and your school does offer that specialty, you'll have such an advantage on the other applicants because you'll know the professors who are going to teach that specialty, but also you're going to be able to do research in that specialty, which is going to make your application much stronger. At the end of the day, residency programs are looking for people who would fit well in their program, who can vibe with them. That's why it's important to work hard, to network a lot with your professors. However, it is not guaranteed that you'll have a specialty spot just because you attended that school. So you just have to keep that in mind. For UdeM, they offer 3 programs. They offer their GPR, PEDS, and ortho. Whereas ULaval, they offer much more. They offer their GPR, they offer OMFS, they offer perio, they offer endo, and they even offer geriatric dentistry. Now, if you really want to apply to those 2 schools, here are my advice. First, if you don't get in from Cégep, that's not a problem. You can get in from university. You don't even need to finish your whole undergrad degree to reapply. For each credit that you take in undergrad, your R score will count less and less. Let me explain this. Each university credit counts for 2% of your academic profile. So that means if you have 30 university credits, your academic profile will consist of 60% university GPA and 40% Cégep R score. So it really comes down to how well you did during your Cégep years, because that will dictate how many credits you'll need in order to improve your academic profile. Number 2, it is called the Indice de force du programme. If you have to choose an undergrad program that you want to go into, it is important to look at the Indice de force du programme, which is essentially how strong is your program. For UdeM and Laval, they will look at your program and they will adjust your GPA according to the strength of your program. So if you open up the tab des étalons, you can see on the left, there are a list of programs, and on the right, the different grades. So if you just go down, I guess, let's just choose physiotherapy. So for physiotherapy, if a student in physiotherapy has an average of 90% and above, they'll get 41, let's just say 40 cut Laval. And compared to if someone else in a Bachelor of Music, they have an average of 90% and above, they'll only get 31. So that's why I cannot stress this enough. It is so important for you to look through this list so that you can pick different programs that are going to help you or just increase your chance of getting into dentistry. And also, it's important to know your strengths and weaknesses. Of course, you'll need the best grades that you can get to have the best academic profile, but now it comes down to the interview, how comfortable you are with interviewing. So if you are not as comfortable as other people with interviews, then you should choose UdeM to increase your chance of getting into the program. If you think that your academic profile is a bit lacking and you know that your interview can help compensate for it, then you should choose Laval because they do have an interview process, and that will increase your chance of getting into dental school, which is what you want at the end of the day. For UdeM, they give bonification points for people who have finished their masters or PhDs. So for masters, they give a +1, and for PhD, they give a +2 on their CRU. And they give bonification points of 0.5 for people who have taken 12 credits or more at UdeM. Let me just explain what's the CRU, the Code de Rendement Universitaire. It's essentially just your GPA, but converted in a way it's very similar to the R score. If you want to know more about the formula or how it's calculated, I'll leave the link in the description box below. So these are all the advice, the tips that I can give you for you to increase your chance of getting into these schools. If you have any more questions regarding UdeM, Laval, or McGill, I will be more than glad to help and answer your questions. Don't forget to press the like button to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, and subscribe for more content. I do hope that you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.